What makes Ceylon tea special? It's a combination of three factors. I would say the most important factor would be locality and topography. Sri Lanka, located on the equator, close to the equator, allows us to have almost 365 days of tea. Secondly, the topography of Sri Lanka is also quite unique because we have flatlands around and the central area is mountainous. Around 25% of our teas grow in the mountains and the balance grows in the southern lowlands. But it's this interplay of weather and wind and sun and all of this coming together which create these microclimates which result in such a diversity of grades and teas. JAF tea is a flagship brand of Jaffery Brothers, a family business founded in 1944. We are one of the oldest tea companies in Sri Lanka. We export tea to more than 30 countries across the globe with a turnover in excess of $70 million. We like to think of ourselves as a traditional tea export company. Traditional in the sense that we still do things the right way. There are no shortcuts here. Quality is supreme. We take the long route where we want to make sure that every cup of tea that we sell leaves the consumer or the customer with a special feeling, not just a sale for price, but a sale for quality. We have 27 different grades of tea, and you look at that in terms of elevation, 3 elevations, high, medium, low, and you have such a wide portfolio of teas which can meet different palates, and that's what's one of the key factors of Sri Lanka. The central part of Sri Lanka is mountainous, and this is very unique because being the center, it gets winds from both sides. We have the southwest monsoons and the northeast monsoons, and both these monsoons have a tremendous effect on the tea. When we have the southwest monsoons, the eastern side is dry, and that results in cool nights and warm days. And the fact that the wind goes across the mountains and over the tea bushes, it agitates the tea bush, which in turn results in a character which we call the uva character. Vice versa happens around February, March, when we have the northeast monsoons, where the eastern side is completely drenched with rain, while the western side is dry, and the winds blowing over the mountains creates the same effect. This agitation of the bush results in this unique Dimbulla character, which is a world-renowned character. So it's the interplay of so many factors, of soil, of wind, of rain, of sunshine, and all of this put together makes Ceylon by far the best black tea on earth. Ceylon's high-grown teas are divided into 3 regions. The Dimbulla region, which is a world-renowned region, which is on the western side of the mountains, followed by the Uva region, which is on the eastern side of the hills. And right in the center, on the top and the highest elevation, is Nuwara Eliya. Now, each of these regions are so completely distinctive. The distance from Dimbulla to Uva is not even 100 or 150 kilometers, but the teas taste completely different. Dimbulla teas are more full-bodied, they are robust, and they have a wonderful aroma and flavor. When you drink them, they have very little aftertaste, so they're not as astringent, and they have a very pleasing aroma. Now, if you go on to the eastern side, which is the uva teas, they are completely different type of tea. They are full-bodied, more astringent, and have, during certain times of the year, an almost menthol-like flavor. While right in the center is Nuwara Eliya. Now, Nuwara Eliya teas are almost similar to green teas because of the high altitude, they are lighter in color, more orangey in appearance. The actual leaf itself has green leaves inside it, and they are preferred by people who have a tendency to like more lighter teas, like green teas. We still follow a hand plucking system, which means that people pluck 2 leaves and a bud, which makes it possible for our tea manufacturers to produce a great product. But that in turn is because we use the orthodox system, where the actual leaf is kept intact, so that the essential oils of the tea remain. And when you make a cup of tea, you still taste the flavors and aromas of the tea. Hand plucking is so unique because it's not something that you pick up overnight. It's something that takes time, it takes dexterity. Generally, the plucking is done by women, partly because they are more dexterous in their handling of their leaf. And when you pluck 2 leaves and a bud, you are getting a tended leaf, which when produces a better tea. Because you're plucking only the new shoots, you can go back to the same tea bush 6 days later. The fact that you pluck a tender leaf means you get more sap in the leaf, while a more indiscriminate type of plucking will result in things like fiber and stalks, which actually degrade the quality of the tea. Now, Sri Lanka doesn't use machines to pluck our leaf. Therefore, we are able to produce a far superior tea than most origins. It's expensive, but it's done correctly and the traditional way. JAF tea, being a global brand, could be produced anywhere, but we choose to be in Sri Lanka, the home of Ceylon tea, for the very simple reason that if you want to preserve the quality and the freshness of this tea, it has to be packed within days of harvesting. Now we can do that in Sri Lanka because within 3 to 4 weeks of it being plucked, it's packed here in Colombo. Our team of tea tasters evaluate almost 10,000 lots of tea weekly. We not only evaluate them for leaf appearance, but we also taste them to make sure that they meet our profile. Only then do we select our teas for our blends. This whole process is a very tedious, laborious, tiring process, but the result we can see in the teacup. Well, first of all, tea is consumed. It's drunk. It's not visually seen, it's actually drunk. So we evaluate tea according to certain characteristics, but it's what is called organoleptic assessment which is done. It's actually not done by that only with our tongues. It's actually done with our noses too, because we actually smell the tea. By smelling the tea, or the act of tasting, where we slurp the tea into our mouths, we run air through our mouths and exaggerate the aroma in the tea. That allows us to evaluate every single note that is in the tea. Through this process, we can find which teas meet our requirement and which teas don't. I mean, there is a lot of tea out there, but there's very little that is right. It's a continuous process of looking at the taste of the tea, the color of the infused leaf, the actual dry leaf, and evaluating all the parameters to ensure that this particular tea meets our requirement. We choose to pack our teas in Colombo, in our factory here, which is ISO 22000 certified, ISO 9001 certified, as well as HACCP certified. Now, all these quality systems ensure that quality is monitored throughout the process, from the beginning right to the end. And not only are we looking at the packed quality, we're also evaluating the quality of the tea throughout the process, so that from the tasting to the mid-production to the final production, all throughout the tea is evaluated to ensure that there is no loss in quality due to production. I think all of this is symptomatic of one element which is a part of our brand, which is care. Not only is there care taken in the selection, but there's care taken in our packaging, so that finally when the consumer receives our product, he can feel that care. And that's so important to us. All our teas are packed using European machinery, and all our teas are blended and flavored using special blending systems which ensure homogeneous and evenly flavored or blended product. We believe that we have the utmost duty of care to our tea growers and to our planet. To have a sustainable tea industry in Sri Lanka, all segments of the supply chain should sufficiently benefit from the rewards of producing premium Ceylon tea. We firmly believe this objective can only be achieved by packaging our teas in Sri Lanka, ensuring maximum value addition locally, and taking the final product in its purest form directly to our global customer. Finally, being a family business, ethical considerations have always been an integral part of our decision-making process. We strongly believe that this policy of fair play has allowed us to build long-lasting and mutually beneficial relationships with our customers. What makes this industry in particular special is because you're selling a product which is world-class and is recognized all over the world as being a great product. So it's a brand with a great legacy. And what's also nice is that the product is used in so many different countries, in so many different ways, so many different cultures. And you see the emotional connection they have to the product. It's amazing. It's not just a prosaic product which you sell. You actually touch people. We use the slogan, "Only exceptional teas." We want our customer to feel special when he drinks that cup of tea. Tea is a very personal experience. It's something that it's your moment of calmness. You sit, you make a cup of tea, and you relish every sip. And we want that each and every sip to be special. So by the end of it, when you finish that cup of tea, you feel refreshed. And you feel, oh, I've had something great today. And that little bit of sunshine in your day makes a big difference. And we love touching the lives of people in this way, in a simple way, with a cup of tea. We know that we've given you a little bit of pleasure in an otherwise difficult day.